Hey everyone, in this video, I want to show you how to deploy an AI application to Amazon EKS, so that's Elastic Kubernetes Service, using GitHub Actions. So that's a CI/CD service. All right, we're going to use Helm to install some of the resources needed for this deployment to work, which is called an Ingress Controller, which I've actually already done, but Helm has been utilized to install the Ingress controller, which is ultimately a load balancer with rules that will route traffic to the application that we're going to spin up here in a little bit. Okay. So without further ado, I'm just going to kind of walk you through this pipeline here. So this pipeline is, like the name says here, um, it's working off of this repo here, right here. Okay, and so what's going to happen here is it's going to spin up a Docker container and it's going to load all of these files inside of the Docker container. Okay, and inside the Docker container, it's going to build out uh, an image based on this Docker file right here. Okay, this one, and with this Docker file, the main thing that we kind of want to take note of is the environment variables, the port that is being listed on, and the port that the actual server is running on, and the address of the server. So this means it can run on port 80 on any address. Okay, so that's the first step, and that's what this pipeline is actually doing. It's building out that Docker file, and that Docker file is configured a certain way that it's going to be able to listen to traffic coming on port 80 uh, via load balancer, which we're going to get to in a second. Okay, so that's all that is going to be cooked up. Then we're using Docker to we're logging into Docker Hub, so I can push this image to my space in Docker Hub. So this is my account, and I'm pushing this image up so that I can make an image based deployment here in a second. Okay, so this last step here, we're just going to be getting our credentials set, so this pipeline can actually, excuse me, deploy the application that I created here. Okay, so these are kind of setting up the this access key ID and the secret access key ID, which is a secret inside of this repo that I'm using. And all these defaults here. And I'm also updating it's called kubeconfig. So kubeconfig is basically uh, instructions on how to locate the Kubernetes cluster. Okay, it points to where that cluster is located. Okay, and I'm just going to deploy everything out. So I'm going to deploy this file called deployment.yaml, which is this one. Okay, this deployment.yaml, and in this deployment.yaml, I have everything, all the services um, configured to listen on port 80 with a selector, this label here called my app, which is all of these the deployment uh, and containers are tagged with this label called my app. So that's how we're going to be able to route traffic from the load balancer through the service to the actual pods running in the deployment. Okay, I know there's a little bit of extraneous explanation, but I just want to be technical here. Just explain it for those that are interested in such. Okay, so that's the configuration. We just want to make sure that the application is running on port number 80, and that the service that we're going to be deploying is going to be listening on port number 80 as well. Okay, and we also want to make sure the environment variables are set. Don't worry, these will all be gone. This is just a sandbox environment. So yeah, best practice is never to show any kind of you know sensitive keys, but in a demo, it's just for learning purposes. Okay, so that's that's the infrastructure as code. So let's just go ahead and like deploy this out and see what it does. All right, so let's go ahead and do this add here, get add, and let's just for you who for YouTube EKS deployment with Ingress Controller. Let's do a git push. All right, so we see that this app is not running on. So I mean, the Ingress controller is deployed, and that's kind of mapped out to this domain here, which I've configured Route 53 with. So I don't want to get too much into that, but this is actually just waiting for an application to be, served or start running behind it. Okay, so let's just go to the actual pipeline and let's see that this thing is just deploying now. Yep, so it's working in the background. Okay, let's see it work. And one more thing I want to mention. So all these resources are going to be running in the namespace Ingress Nginx. So right now, there's no applications running in Nginx except for this Ingress controller, which I deployed before this video started. Okay, so there's no pods running, and there's no deployments running until that pipeline finishes. So I just want to show you that there's nothing running right now except the Ingress controller. So when I go back here, and this pipeline is still running, which is a great sign. Okay, we went through all these steps before. So building and pushing the Docker image to Docker Hub. So it looks like it's pushed. That's great. Okay, so it's doing all those things that I just said. Okay, and now it looks like it's almost going to be done. Okay, great. So this job is done. So let's take a look at get deployments. All right, that deployment is there. 17 seconds. Let's take a look. Let's look at the. Let's get the pods. Okay, that pod is right there running 26 seconds. That's great. Let's look at the ingress. Let's see if the ingress is there. Well, the ingress is there. We already know it. Ingress is there. Now let's just go to multimodal.sruuniversity.com and take a look at that application I'm talking about. So when I refresh this, there we go. So we see that Ingress controller is starting to work. And now let's look at this AI application. So this is an application that's using a multimodal language model, which multimodal means a language model that can handle, in addition to text, video, images, and whatnot. So this is just an image reasoning app, and we'll see in a second what that means here. So I give it a photo, and it's able to kind of reason what's in the photo. If I can just find the darn. There we go. Sorry. Okay, so let's find one I know that's going to work. Let's do the ice cream. Okay, so this ice cream here, so we see that it's actually running. Let me actually get this other service up called Replicate. So Replicate is the API or this multimodal service that's being used in the background that's doing the image reasoning. All right, so look, it just finished 17 seconds ago, 45 minutes. So this is just finished. So when I go back to this app, okay, look at it, it's already finished. This is also using a tool in the background as well. The tool is basically calling out to an API that's managed by the USDA that gives ingredient information about whatever food item is being sent to it. So this language model detected that, hey, there's ice cream inside of this image. There's ice cream cones. The language model just inferred that, okay, ice cream is the main food here that we're interested in viewing, and so it sent that request to USDA to get the ingredients for this particular item. Okay, and that's why we see that as the ingredients in enriched wheat flour, tapioca, sugar. So in addition to that, it also just does some fantastic reasoning. So let's just take a look at the image here. You know, it's a nice image of ice cream cones with this frosting, frosting on top. But that actually looks like frosting. It actually doesn't look like ice cream, but well, maybe it is ice cream. But the description here is what's most important. In the image, there's a white dining table with 4 ice cream cones placed on it. Okay, there's there's more than 4, but uh, that's fine. It's still trying to count. Each ice cream cone is topped with different type of whipped cream and sprinkles. So it noticed that. That's pretty specific. The cones are arranged in a row. Yeah, that could be a row. Row in the background and row here. So that's correct. Um, with one on the left side, one in the middle, and one on the right side. So yeah, that's correct. And the last one at the far end of the table. So it's really doing a fantastic job reasoning all of the image. So this type of technology is actually being used to create apps for the visually impaired. It's so precise. So let me just try one more here. Let's see if I can just get one more to work here. Let me see if I got the tuna here. Tuna. There we go. I got a tuna. Let's see if we can get this one to work also. It may not work, but let's see. Okay, that tuna actually finished very quickly. So it's our 4 seconds. So it's already done. Let's see if the description comes here, which it should in a second. Okay. And we're almost done. Let's see that description up there. There we go. So the food item in the image is a very large fish, possibly a tuna. Uh, the fish is positioned horizontally across the scene and appears to be a type of whitefish. So it's given a great definition, explanation, and also it's given a description of the ingredients, which we see right here. So, you know, yeah, this is very powerful tech. I wanted just to give a demonstration of it. Uh, not only the language reasoning capabilities, but also how to deploy those out, to Kubernetes, which everybody knows OpenAI is actually running on, or ChatGPT is running on Kubernetes. So this is a very good skill to have. So let me know if you have any questions about this particular exercise. I'd love to answer your questions. Let me know if you're interested in working with me or anything like that. And please like and subscribe my channel. And I look forward to making more content for everyone interested in watching. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.